Hello, Jeff Helvin here with Ballen Brands, and today we're going to talk about why website structure plays a major role in your long-term success. So SEO has been a huge topic of discussion ever since websites have been around and how to rank higher on the search engines. And now, of course, AEO, which is the Ask Engine Optimization, is up there just as much as well. And what's important to understand is that there's no one key element that will set you above the rest. It is a combination. It's your overall structure and how the pages are built and what's involved in anything that goes to do with the website. Again, it's not one thing. It's a collection of things. So one of the things I want to point out here today is how we build our websites here. And I have my website pulled up. I'm a real estate agent in Las Vegas, and here's my real estate website. And we first want to talk about the page hierarchy. So how the pages are structured is important. So in real estate, we have buyers, we have sellers, we have local type information, we have locations that we represent. Sometimes we have properties, other categories, about us, reviews. This is all part of the URL structure. So if I go, of course, just up here, we see it's just the main website. If I go to buying, then I'm going to have buying in the category. If I'm going to go to one of the blog categories or, one of the blogs that I've written, then we'll see up here, it's under buying and then has what the topic of the category is. So this is all part of that page hierarchy. This is telling the search engines and the ask engines as well, like what fits under what. So for instance, negotiation offer, if I didn't have that under the buying category, well, that could be on the selling side. Okay, so it's important to have this structure in place so that we're able to see exactly where this content fits in relation to the rest of the website. So again, that page hierarchy is what leads to that overall URL structure. So we don't want to have everything just on the same thing. So a lot of times we find that people want to do, jeffsellslv.com/negotiation offer, even if it just said /buying negotiation offer or /selling negotiation offer. Everything is kind of seen as they're considered siblings when it comes to URL structure, meaning they're all on the same level. There's not a hierarchy there, so they all have the same priority and relevance. So we do that on purpose where we're setting that structure and that hierarchy in order to get a better communicate better to the search engines, because that's what we're trying to do is help communicate what we want them to see. Now, the next thing that we do, of course, is the content layout. So it's not just about slapping words on the page or just having a bunch of keywords that link here or there or wherever else. It's important to have an actual purpose behind it. So on our blogs, for example, we have, of course, your title tag, which is keyword optimized. We have, who it's published by, and posted in, and then from here we're going to have your table of contents. So this is not it's useful to the users, of course, how to mark. If I'm looking at this and just want to see specifically this section, I can click it and go right down to that particular section. But what we're also doing is making this links for the search engines to see. So how does your buyer's agent negotiate on your behalf? You click on that, it takes you to that section that talks more about buyer's agent negotiating on your behalf. So it's a relationship that we're making from this link to that content, even though it's still on the same page. We also are building in these internal links. So strong negotiation strategy takes to another page. Buyer's agent takes to the about page to learn more about me. Click on properties, it takes you for homes for sale. These are things that we're trying to do to help the search engine see, like, this is more relevant content from this page that we want to take you to. Now, you can get super strategic with this particular content. So of course, we're going to do some basics for you when we set the site up, but there's always more that can be done if you have a specific goal in mind that you're trying to get. Make sure you communicate that to us, and we'll definitely help that out. So that is part of that whole content layout. Then we have coding elements. Okay, we get a lot of requests to do sometimes some very fancy type things. They want videos playing. We want certain things moving in and out. We want to load heavy elements. That overall coding and how that hierarchy, that's not the hierarchy, the structure of the coding also plays a role. Okay, in how the search engines. If we look behind the scenes I'll just go here just to give you an example. All right, this is what the search engines can also have access to. Now, how this is structured and how this is coded and what the layout is, that's all important. So we don't want to have, 50 plugins that are installed that are all, racking up different codes on the page when sometimes those codes aren't being utilized and sometimes they are. We want to make sure that that's done in a very organized and purposeful manner. Okay, these are all things that, of course, are just part of that overall hierarchy, the overall structure, that website structure and how it's done. The images that we use, the alt text that we have, all of those things are very purposeful. Where we put things, making it mobile responsive, and all of that, how the user experiences it goes into your overall long-term performance. That's not just one thing. It's not just, update all the alt tags with special keywords. It's not just throwing in metadata. It's not just updating title tags. I mean, it's all of it. All of that is part of this overall strategy. And the last thing, of course, is server performance. We need to make sure the website's hosted on a server that's optimized and primed specific for how your website operates. So we build WordPress websites, so we can't just throw them up on a regular server. They need to be on a WordPress server that's optimized for how WordPress works. The PHP helpers and overall, bandwidth restraints, things like that. These are all important elements in having that long-term success. So while there's no one specific thing that's going to give you some short-term result, there is many things that go into building these websites. So here at Ballen Brands, we build websites designed from the ground up with this structure in mind. We do a lot of things consistently from website to website because we're trying to preserve that overall intention. So there's a lot of tricks, there's a lot of hacks and keyword optimize this and search engine recommended that. But at the end of the day, if you want to outlast the changes in algorithms and the new technologies that come on, like the ask engines that we didn't even know about many years ago, these are things that these websites are designed to help kind of live the test of time, to still be useful to you as these new things emerge, because we're doing things very purposely, not just to manipulate a search engine result. So we are a family-driven digital marketing company with a deep dive into all of this. We've been doing this for many years, and this is what we practice. It's what we use for our own stuff. So our approach isn't just aesthetic, it's strategic. Again, very purposeful behind what we're doing. So if you want any more information on that or something that we can help you with, we would absolutely love the opportunity. You can reach us at team@ballenbrands.com.